Hello and welcome back to the Summoner's Guide to Final Fantasy XIV. This time we are going to be taking on another 24-player raid, the Ridorana Lighthouse. Final Fantasy XII fans will remember the last, well, I call it the last dungeon, the Pharos at Ridorana. Technically, Sky Fortress Bahamut is the last dungeon, but I don't really count that as a dungeon. It's more of a boss rush. But the Ridorana Lighthouse is a representation of this particular dungeon from 12. And we actually got a few bosses from 12. Alright. So, you start off, we go straight to the first boss. Famfrit, the Darkening Cloud. Alright, here we go. This is a water elemental boss. You're going to see a lot of water elemental attacks. And some of which are quite difficult to dodge. So we'll call them out as they come. Fortunately, all the 24-player raids, I've been playing quite a bit recently to gear up my main. So I've got plenty of experience here. Just not on Summoner. I think this is my first time playing it on Summoner, but I will do. Alright, so Tsunami. It's gonna do a knockback unless you don't have a HP shield on you. Then he's gonna put that viewer he's carrying in one direction. And as you can see, he pours it out. That does a constant AoE effect in that direction, so you don't want to be in that quadrant at all. Because it will probably kill you, and if not, it'll knock you pretty low. So just keep watching the direction he's spinning it, and don't be standing in that direction. Oh, and there's other AoEs going off at the same time, so don't be hit by those. Again, a lot of things to worry about here. After he uses that technique a few times, after he uses that technique a few times, he'll use that room-wide AoE. Okay, later on, as you can see, he's going to have these ewers come out that are just going to move across the arena. Don't be standing under those. And obviously you're going to see other AoE effects that you're going to have to worry about, like the AoEs that you want to move away from everybody else. So yeah, just a lot of things to dodge at the same time. Alright, when he casts Dark Rain... Okay, that's right. Those are the AoEs that follow. We don't want to be in the way of those. And you want to make sure that you're not being like me and completely forgetting to actually use your abilities and mechanics. Alright, here we go. This is the ability I was thinking of. Alright, he's going to cut the arena off with these AoEs, and then he's going to summon a bunch of adds that are going to self-destruct. You don't want them to do that. So focus down. Oh, I forgot. If you get one of those red triangles up above your head, you want to stack up with other people with red triangles on your head. Otherwise, what happened to me will happen to you. That one's going to go off. The explosion will give you magic vulnerability up. You can definitely survive one. Maybe two, definitely not three, so try to kill him. Alright, Tsunami 1. then watch out for the... So again, here we're going to be we're really going to be worrying mainly about the direction that viewer is facing. So at this point, you've now seen all the mechanics that you're going to see in this fight. He's just going to keep repeating everything you've seen before. The patterns, the things you're going to have to dodge at the same time are going to get more complicated, but you're not going to see anything that you haven't already seen. This is just dodge, 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 and pray you're not in the path of whatever it is that's coming at you, and yeah. I will typically, the times I die in this fight is when the patterns of what all's coming at me at once just don't work out well, and it's a matter of getting hit by one nasty effect or getting hit by another nasty effect. It can just be a challenging fight, but it's not so challenging that you're going to see a lot of wipes in this area anymore. You may get killed by an unfortunate series of events, but it's never going to get to the point where the raid itself is going to be that big of a problem. Alright, Tsunami again. Oh, get out of there. See, now there's a lot of things to dodge. Oh, whew! So yeah, there you go. So once you kill that first one, did nobody get the, nobody got the chest? Not that big of a deal, but gear in here isn't any better than what I've already got, but... Alright, so, in this second section, try not to be stupid and take a wrong turn there, like me. There's going to be one trash pull, and there is something to note in this particular trash pull. Where you can technically screw this up to the point where you can really mess up the raid. The boons are you're probably going to want to take them down first. Where are you going to go? Alright, I will go ahead and do that. Then later, some more ads are going to show up any moment now. There they are, these Bamoos. Now, when these enemies die, they will self-destruct and do a room-wide, well, almost room-wide, I should say, fire AoE. So you really don't want them all to die at once. Because that would be unfortunate. But as long as you space it out so that they at least die a few seconds apart, it won't be a problem. And there you have it. That's the extent of that particular trash pull. So, the next boss is also a boss from 12. Belias the Gigas. And we have a disconnected player. This is a fun fight, and mechanics are interesting yet simple enough to deal with. Ah, good. Our lost DPS is back. Alright, devotion's ready. We can make this pull. Alright. Typically, this boss gets pulled in the center of the arena. Why we're pulling it here, I don't know, but we'll adjust. Okay, now we're going back to the middle. Alright, so when he casts Time Eruption, try to stand near the intersection between two of the tiles. You'll see slow-moving clocks and fast-moving clocks. The fast-moving clocks explode first, then the slow-moving clocks. When he jumps, you'll get two clones going off onto one corner. They'll jump to those AoE circles there, and then go in the direction of the AoE circles. You'll just need to look at the arena and see which square is safe and go to it. Fortunately, if all the players are paying attention, they're all going to go to the same square. So if it's your first time and you're not quite sure how to follow that attack, just follow the group. As a caster, I usually like to stand on the south tile here. Alright, when this little move goes out, a bunch of people will be tethered to the crystals. You want to pull the tethers away so that they're not cutting anybody off. Because if you walk through the tethers, you're going to get a severe slow effect on you. A lot of AoEs to dodge. Minions are going to show up. Now, very often, the players will actually put down alliance markers so that each alliance can pick up one of these ads. The important thing is that you pull the ads apart from each other so they don't buff each other, and kill all the ads before the boss's duty gauge fills up. Now, these aren't far enough apart, or at least they weren't. Now they are. Alright, so once all three are there, get back into position. If there's a shield up, get into it. And resume the assault. Time Bomb is the next effect. It's going to place 4 markers with an arrow on them. Stepping onto the tile will change the direction of the arrow. You want to get the arrows out onto the 4 corners, ideally. Above all, when the effect resolves, you don't want to be standing on a tile that the arrow is pointing toward. Now, later on, this effect is actually going to be chained with other moves. So again, you want to try to make sure that the arrows are pointing toward the 4 corners. Alright, so the center space is the safe space again. Usually the center space is the safe space, but not always. So just always pay attention. Oh, got it, okay. You know what, I need to actually apply... Time Eruption, so I'm going to get near the border, get onto the slow-moving clock first, and then get on the fast, then get on the empty tile once the fast moving block resolves. Time bomb, make sure that the arrows are pointing outside. Again, at this point you've now seen all of the mechanics. You just need to make sure that as these mechanics combo, that you're dealing with them accordingly. Oh, yuck. Alright, we got this. Alright, time bomb, so watch for the 4 arrows pointing to the 4 corners. Alright, center space is safe. Timer up, get near the corner, stay on the slow, then move, and there you have it. Again, you can get into some hairy situations where a lot of those attacks will go off at once, and you might find yourself in a situation that's tough to dodge. But most of the time, you should be able to get through this without dying, as long as you're paying attention to the mechanics. Alright. So there's one more trash pool to deal with here. There's going to be 3 sets of these statues. Typically, you split them up by alliance. So A goes to the left, B goes to the middle, C goes to the right. So I'm going to move off to the left. Once you finish casting that defensive protocols move, that's when they'll wake up and start attacking. So hopefully the tank has picked them up by then. It's not always the case. Alright, so once all 3 sets of statues are down, 3 more statues will appear. Again, typically Alliance A goes left, B goes middle, C goes right. So it's not really set in stone. Once these statues have taken enough damage, they're going to spawn generators that will basically shield them from further damage. You will need to destroy said generators in order to continue damaging them. Down, you can finish off your goal. Alright, now it's time for the 3rd boss, and by far the most interesting, and the one that has some of the most fun mechanics in this raid, and the single most frustrating mechanic in this raid. And the mechanic that I think is frustrating is not necessarily the mechanic everybody else thinks is frustrating. Because I am good at math. If you're not good at math, you might struggle. Now, it's not like they're asking you to do multivariate calculus or anything. Just simple arithmetic. So Construct 7 is the only boss in this dungeon that is not from FF12. I believe this is from Tactics. Excuse me. Alright, so start off just, standard tactics. Alright, so when he casts Accelerate, a bunch of people will get circle AoEs, so split them up. If you don't get a circle AoE, move in for the stack-up AoE, and then continue the assault. You'll then move to the middle and use Pulverize. I like to be kind of in mid-range. Pulverize will affect primarily short range, and then will do a secondary attack on everybody who's farthest from the boss. So if you move far away, just be prepared to deal with a large AoE that's coming next. And I should not have used Dreadful Trance there. So when he jumps up, he'll get into an area. Oh, don't do it to me. A lot of dodging needs to happen there. Don't be in a line with him. Don't get into too many of those things, then stay out of range. Now, here is the hard part. So when he casts Dispose, he's going to just keep spinning and using that AoE. That's my least favorite attack in the entire run, by the way, because half the time I die to that. You just got to react very quickly to the direction he's rotating. Always save your sprint and use it right before he uses Dispose. You'll see this again. Okay, computation mode. This is the fun part. So I like to line up right here where you see these 4 circles. He's going to cast an ability called Subtract, which will reduce your HP to a single-digit number. He's then going to give you a multiple that you need to match. Multiples of 5. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So I stand at the 2 circle. I'm now a multiple of 5. So I pass, and I'll get a damage up buff. Multiples of 4. So I'm at 3, so I need to stand in 1 to make 4. And I pass, so I get another damage boost. I'm going to save my Bahamut summon for a moment. You're going to see why. Alright. Once this is all done, he's going to cast Tartarus mode. He'll become untargetable, and it's going to suck everybody into that black hole. Everybody's going to get into an arena and have to destroy an ad and deal with a mechanic based on their alliance. Now, Alliance A is the one I have dealt with the least, so this will be fun. Alliance A, if I recall correctly, has to deal with the, it deals with the, it's the, magnetism mechanic. I should not have done that. So you'll be marked with a plus or a minus. You want to make sure that you're far away from the person you're matched with, because if you get sucked into each other, then I believe you get a debuff. Anyhow, finish that, and then quickly get into that thing there before the time runs out. Yeah, you need to finish off your boss before and get into the portal before your time runs out, or you will die. And A, I think, is the hardest to deal with, but I think that's mainly for me because I think I've gotten A maybe 2 or 3 times. I almost always get C. So So I'm really used to C, but I rarely get A. Alright. He's gonna do pulverize again. So deal with it like you dealt with it the last time. That could have been really nasty. Alright, now he's going to go into computation mode a second time. This time it's going to be a little trickier than the first time. Okay, I'm matching 8. Okay, now I need to make my number a prime number, a number that's only divisible between itself and 1. The only match I can make here is 11. Now I need to make a multiple of 5. 8 plus 2 is 10. So now I should have 4 stacks of damage up. So if I can manage to stay alive and keep this going, all the better. Alright, now he's going to do another jump, so we're going to see this mechanic again. Alright, so watch where he lands and where he's facing. Don't be there. Try not to stay in that AoE for very long either. Then there's going to be the circle AoEs. Don't let them overlap, and if you do, stay in the corner. Okay, now run up, get behind him. I got it! That one's a lot harder than the first one. But I survived, yay! As you can see, not many did. But, the boss is almost dead, so, let's finish this guy off. Alright, I've got a circle AoE, so I'm going to move it away. It's really not going to be much of a difference, because we got him dead. Yay! Now again, I don't always survive this particular encounter. Very often that second dispose will take care of me. Because if you screw up that run around the boss, you're going to die. Basically your hope is that a healer or a red mage or a summoner manages to stay alive to resurrect you. I'll skip this boss. Alright, so we are now at the end boss. And this is an interesting little battle. And Final Fantasy XII fans will recognize immediately as Yasmat. Yasmat is that wonderful optional boss that I've never actually played in 12. It has like over 10 million HP or something crazy like that and takes several hours to defeat. Fortunately, this one does not take several hours to defeat because we only have about an hour and a half left on the clock. Devotion!
The Empire is a cancer! Now, I am the Barber's blade!
You're going to start out thinking that this boss has hundreds of millions of HP, because his health bar is not going to go down very fast. Now, when he shouts, escape this, get behind him. Or at least off to his side. Don't be in front of him. That's a nasty attack.
Agony and sorrow!
Dust Storm is a room wide, can't be avoided. Eventually he's going to cast White Breath, so I'm staying close. There he is. Get into his hitbox. As you can see, all this time we've only taken effect of 5%. Magnetic Lysis. You will get a magnetic charge, and the ground will get a magnetic charge. You need to be in the opposite charge.
Escape this!
Because if you're not, you're going to get a nasty debuff that will actually, in later stages of the fight, end up killing you. And you need to not be stupid like me, and like I told you earlier, when he says escape this, get behind him, not in front of him. I should have gone to that back corner of the arena. Alright, when he uses this attack, and you see that AoE thing there, I'm going to just sit and wait for this attack to start. He's just going to start running around the arena, and it's going to be crazy.
You are suffering.
And yeah, where he pounces, you're going to get hit and hurt very badly. Alright.
I'll tell you, left from limb.
So at this point, we've seen most of the attacks. There's a few more we'll have to deal with.
Escape this!
Okay, escape this. I'm going to stay behind him. The nasty ones are where you have all of, like 2 or 3 of these attacks resolving at once, and it's hard to dodge.
Your pain is my pain.
Alright, summon! He's going to summon 3 ads, kill them.
You will not have mercy.
Alright, magnetic
Your
lysis.
suffering is not yet over.
I'm plus, so I need to get into minus.
Agony and sorrow. I'm again, shall deliver the king's justice. Feel the wrath of my brothers.
Alright, when he says, feel the wrath of my brothers, he is going to use that. You need to find your marker. I am A. A is not up.
You will pay for what you have done. With blood.
I'll take this one. This is another situation where everybody needs to take an ad. Don't stand in the tornadoes. When all 3 of these Archeodemons are down, then the Azmat's heart will be affected, or made vulnerable, I should say. And this needs to be dealt with before his mana gauge fills up. Looks like it's going to happen though. Now you'll notice he has taken a considerable amount of damage from that.
This is far from finished, Guardians!
And now you'll notice he's actually taking damage a lot quicker.
Like a knife through butter!
Oh boy, watch out for this.
Your suffering is not yet over.
Lysis. Watch for the... Oh, dang. Alright, getting into the blue. He's gonna turn. There we go.
Feel the wrath of my brothers!
Alright, now if you had managed to fail that Lysis mechanic, the Cyclone will actually throw you clean out of the arena. So that's why you want to make sure that you're always standing in the opposite.
Shall deliver the king's justice!
And stack up the Death Strike as if you can. Get out of that, get out of that, get out of that. That one's following me.
Your suffering is not yet over.
Am I gonna get there? Yes.
My wounds.
Alright, when he gets down to 10%, he's gonna cast Throwing Breath. This is gonna make his attacks a lot more powerful. He's then gonna use that wonderful run through the arena rake technique, so be very careful not to be in his way. I was kind of skirting disaster there, but as you can see, I pulled it off.
Your suffering is not yet over.
And we got this. Alright, so there you go. Ridorana Lighthouse is clear. So yeah, I actually played that very well. It pays to actually play content regularly, and I do play this content regularly. Let's get that thing. Let's get that thing. Let's get that thing too. And let's get that thing. Let's get all the things. Ooh, I can actually use those. Alright, well anyway, I'll sign off for now. Next is the 100th episode of this series. I can't believe it, and one of my favorite fights in this series. So look forward to it. Until then, have a wonderful day.